Hi guys, I'm Molly, and I'm the poorest in my family. Do you think I simply get less pocket money than the rest of the family? Nope. I live in a family of millionaires. My older brother and sister have already gone crazy with all this wealth. Right now, my brother Jack is heating the fireplace in the living room with $20 and $50 bills. This pocket change is only good for kindling. And my sister Gloria has a cold. She likes to blow her nose in $100 bills instead of tissues. I can blow my nose in $100 bills. They're so much softer. Also, the printing ink is good for my skin. Ugh, that's so stupid. The composition of any denomination bill is exactly the same. Gloria responded rudely to my remark. Shut up, Molly. How would you know? Yeah, you've never held anything over $5 in your life, Jack said. That's because she's dumb and couldn't get rich like us. My brother and sister used to brag about how they got rich on their own, but it wasn't true. I remember when I was a kid, when Mom was still with us, we were not rich. One day, my dad got sick of it all and decided to take a risk and buy cryptocurrency. It had just appeared back then, and Dad believed this was the future. My parents never had any extra money, so Dad asked Jack and Gloria for their pocket money. They only had $20, but he bought crypto with all of it. It was worth about 25 cents at the time. And now you do the math. I wanted to help too, and give my dad some money. But I opened my pockets and there was nothing in them. I was little and I wasn't supposed to have pocket money yet. I remember that day when the whole family gathered in the living room by the TV. They were looking at the chart going up fast. They literally went crazy with joy. Years later, when cryptocurrency skyrocketed in value, I never got anything. Now, I looked at my spoiled brother and sister and thought that maybe it was for the best. I went into my father's office to complain about Jack and Gloria's behavior. Dad was pacing from side to side, holding the phone to his ear and yelling loudly at someone. He was on the phone, as usual, discussing new contracts and deals. Dad, would you please talk to these knuckleheads? Sure, baby. Take a credit card and buy yourself a dress. You're not listening to me. I fumed at his indifference. But my father barely noticed as I stormed out of the office, slamming the door behind me. As I walked out into the living room, I saw Jack and Gloria doing some kind of wild thing again. Jack was filling up an inflatable pool with money, and Gloria, dressed in an English lady's dress, was lying on the door in the money pool. They were playing the final scene of Titanic. I pulled out my phone and started making a video TikTok. By the way, these two often staged some kind of acts with money bills. Thanks to them, I already had 4,000 subscribers on my page. It was a long day, and I was about to go to bed. I wanted to close the door to my room, but I couldn't. It wasn't there. These two took my door for their skit. You know, before this, I thought I shouldn't post the video, but now I had no doubts. I hit the post button. I had no idea that I would wake up famous the next morning. Before school, we had breakfast together as a family, but no one was talking, like before. Everybody was busy doing their own thing. My sister and brother jumped in their expensive convertible sports cars. I wanted to get in the car too. After all, we were heading the same way when we went to the same school. But Gloria pushed me away. Where do you think you're going? With you, to school. Jack laughed. Silly. This car is for rich people. Yes, the poor take the bus. Jack hit the gas, and the car whizzed away, leaving me coughing through the smoke of burnt tires. I sat on the bus and thought sadly about how far apart we had grown from each other. When I walked into the school, everyone who was in the hall suddenly started clapping for me. 8 million hits in 10 hours! You're awesome! Your sister and brother are so hilarious! It finally dawned on me that I should check the video stats. Tons of likes and comments descended on me. Sis and brother performance video went viral, and my page has already collected 500,000 subscribers. I think that was the first time I smiled in a long time. Everyone was congratulating me and giving me high fives. They said it must be hard for me to live with such weirdos. Well, yes, you have no idea how hard. By the way, I never saw Jack and Gloria at school. I guess they weren't ready for the fame that was about to fall on their heads. Everything was going great until I got home, because that's where they were waiting for me. What the hell were you doing filming us? You made us look like idiots! Oh, come on, it's fun. I tried to justify myself, but I could see from their angry faces that they didn't agree with me. I even felt like I had committed some kind of crime, and Jack and Gloria wanted me to be punished. Jack grabbed my phone.
You won't be able to take any more pictures.
He threw it on the floor and crushed it with his foot. I cried again. It seemed to be the only thing I was good at. I went to my father to ask him for help. After knocking, I cautiously entered the office. Dad was sitting at his desk with a pile of papers. He looked very busy. Dad, can you talk to Jack? He broke my phone.
Just take a card and buy a new one.
Maybe I should get a new dad. I need you, not your money. Dad was silent, not knowing what to say. I headed for the door. Dad didn't want to talk to me, and he was the last person who could understand me at all. To get his attention, I took a desperate step. I started misbehaving at school so that the principal would call him. In class, when we had a test and everyone was looking down at their notebooks, I got up on the desk and started singing a song and dancing. The teacher wanted to pull me off the desk, but I put my hand on my chest and breathed in as deeply as I could and then sang the anthem of our great country. There was nothing the teacher could do. She stood with her hand over her heart and waited for me to finish. My classmates filmed my stunt on their phones. I finished singing and started bowing to my audience. The teacher grabbed my hand and dragged me to the exit of the classroom. I was expecting to be punished, but this sudden burst of patriotism was forgiven. It had to do with the fact that Dad often gave money to the school. He spent hundreds of thousands on repairs and the purchase of necessary equipment. I wasn't going to give up until I got my way. So the next part of my plan was to stage a huge mass madness. As I sat in the cafeteria, the school's hottest girl walked past me. Annie Jenkins is a cheerleading captain, volunteer, Insta model, and an honor student. I looked at her and smiled slyly. Before she could think of anything, I grabbed a sandwich off the tray and threw it right at her white t-shirt. Of course, when Annie saw the stain on her designer clothes, she was as mad as a bull during a bullfight. The girl grabbed a cupcake and threw it at me. It hit some guy, though, who had nothing to do with it. That guy grabbed something and threw it at Annie, but he missed too and it hit Bill. And now there was a real food fight going on. It was coming from all directions, like bullets in a fight. I tried to cover myself with the tray, and sometimes I even moved in on the attack. Sandwiches flew from side to side like grenades. The battle went on until the dining room door opened and an angry principal appeared on the doorstep. Everyone froze and were afraid to move. The last shot, a slice of pizza, managed to hit the principal. Who started it? Everyone pointed their finger at me. Traitors. Molly Richards in my office. I sat in the office across from the speechless principal. The door opened, and my menacing father entered the office. The principal wanted to take control of the situation, but Dad looked me straight in the eye and asked,
Why? You're not like that.
I prepared myself for a big, sincere dialogue with my father. I told him what really bothered me. We've already lost Mom. I don't want to lose you too. Tears came to my eyes again, but this time there was no shame in crying. Daddy stood up and hugged me.
I miss her too, you know.
The principal hurried out of the office and left us alone. Dad talked to the principal and promised it wouldn't happen again. The school turned a blind eye on my misconduct. Dad and I went to get me a new phone. And of course, he bought me the latest model. The camera in it was awesome. How much dirt could I get on Jack and Gloria? In the car, I checked my TikTok account. My jaw almost dropped to the floor. Turns out my classmates were posting all my antics, and now my audience has reached 1 million people. And my entire inbox was flooded with messages from advertisers. I showed this to my dad. He smiled and patted me on the head. I get my entrepreneurial spirit from you.
Yeah, we'll look at the advertising deals later and see which ones you should take.
The car pulled up in front of the house. Jack and Gloria weren't back yet. Daddy and I decided to play a little prank on them. Dad got a big can of glue out of the trunk. We had bought it at the store beforehand. Rubbing our hands together angrily, we walked over to the money pool. Dad mercilessly poured glue inside the pool, and I stirred the pile of money with my gloved hands so that the glue evenly coated each banknote. We put an extra layer of clean bills on top so my sister and brother wouldn't suspect a thing. Afterwards, I set my smartphone in a secluded spot to take pictures. My dad and I hid, anticipating the fun. About 10 minutes later, an unsuspecting couple entered the house. Jack and Gloria saw the pool and their eyes lit up. They ran toward it, dropping their backpacks as they went. My brother and sister plunged into the banknotes. They swam there, sliding the money apart with their hands, diving in and out again. Suddenly, Jack stopped and started sniffing. My dad and I couldn't hold back our laughter any longer, and we ran out and laughed. Jack came out of the pool, covered head to toe in bills.
What the hell?
You're a real money man, Gloria laughed.
What are you laughing at? Look at you!
Gloria slowly stepped out of the pool. She just realized what had happened to her, the same thing that had happened to Jack. She started screaming hysterically. Calm down, the glue will dry in a couple of hours and the money will fall off, I reassured them.
Yeah, along with the hair.
Dad was joking, of course, but my brother and sister took it at face value, so they started running and yelling even harder. Well, my dad and I had a good laugh at them. The video with the money pool further contributed to my popularity. They even called me the prank queen on the internet. There were even more advertising offers. It's good that my dad volunteered to help me. I couldn't have done it without him. In general, I soon started earning my millions. But unlike my brother and sister, I earned them myself. Do you remember how you earned your first money? Write your answers in the comments to this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.